About 1.75 million years ago, long before cities existed, humans built their first homes. This was not a cave or a natural shelter. It was intentionally built by human hands. Inside the structure, fire burned, food was prepared, and families found safety at night. The builders were not modern humans. Our species did not yet exist. They were Homo erectus, one of the most successful human species in history. To understand why this home mattered, we must first see the world they lived in. Nearly 2 million years ago, early humans lived without permanent shelter. During the day, survival was difficult. At night, it became deadly. Saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, and ancient lions hunted across the land. Without shelter, children and the elderly faced the greatest danger. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived by fleeing and hiding. Then, around 1,900,000 years ago, everything changed. Homo erectus had longer legs, stronger bodies, and exceptional endurance. Many individuals stood between 5.5 and 6 feet tall. Their brains averaged about 63 cubic inches in volume. This allowed a new ability in human evolution: long-term planning. They no longer reacted only to danger. They began to anticipate it. In East Africa, this new thinking led to a historic decision. Instead of fleeing each night, Homo erectus chose to stay and build. Stones were arranged into a circular barrier about 15 feet wide. Branches and wooden posts likely supported a simple structure above. Archaeologists date this shelter to about 1,750,000 years ago. It was not permanent, but it was built with intention and purpose. For the first time, humans controlled a living space of their own. This first home marked the true beginning of human society. But building a home was not a choice of comfort. It was a response to an unforgiving world. Around 2 million years ago, Earth's climate was unstable and constantly changing. Africa experienced repeated cycles of droughts and wetter periods. Forests shrank, grasslands expanded, and resources became unpredictable. For early humans, this meant constant movement and constant danger. Large predators thrived in these open landscapes. Fossils show saber-toothed cats weighing over 600 pounds hunted humans. Giant hyenas and ancient lions competed for the same prey as humans. At night, without fire or shelter, humans were easy targets. Even during the day, heat and exhaustion pushed bodies to their limits. Homo erectus had higher energy demands than earlier human species. Their larger bodies and bigger brains required more food every single day. Missing a meal was no longer a minor problem. it was life-threatening. Constant movement also placed children and injured adults at risk. Fossils reveal individuals who survived serious injuries thanks to group support. Such care required staying in one place, even temporarily. A shelter allowed fire to be maintained instead of constantly rebuilt. Fire provided warmth, light, protection, and safer food. Cooking increased the amount of energy humans could absorb from food. This was essential for supporting larger brains over time. Shelter also reduced exposure to wind, rain, and extreme temperatures. In open savannas, even a simple windbreak could save lives. Over time, Homo erectus began returning to the same safe locations. These places became predictable centers of daily life. The need to survive a harsh world quietly pushed humans toward a new way of living. Surviving was no longer enough. Homo erectus needed shelters that worked reliably. These early shelters were not random structures. They followed repeated designs. Archaeological sites reveal stones placed intentionally in circular patterns. Most circles were about 15 feet 4.5 meters in diameter. This size allowed several individuals to gather inside at once. The stones functioned as windbreaks on open, exposed plains. Wooden posts were likely set above the stones to support a frame. Branches, grasses, and leaves probably covered this framework. This covering provided shade during the day and insulation at night. Entrances were likely positioned away from dominant winds. Such placement shows careful awareness of local environments. Fire was typically maintained at the center of the shelter. A central fire evenly distributed warmth and light. Smoke likely escaped through gaps in the roof covering. These shelters were temporary rather than permanent buildings. Groups could dismantle and rebuild them when returning. Evidence suggests the same locations were reused many times. This marks a shift away from completely nomadic behavior. Certain places became familiar and socially important. Building shelters required cooperation among many individuals. No single person could construct these shelters alone. Shared construction strengthened social bonds within groups. Shelter building skills were learned rather than instinctive. Knowledge was passed from one generation to the next. These early shelters laid the foundation for human communities. Once shelters existed, daily life for Homo erectus began to change dramatically. Shelters allowed groups to stay together for longer periods of time. This stability transformed how families and groups were organized. Children could remain in one safe location while adults gathered food. This greatly increased the survival rate of young offspring. Fossils show that Homo erectus cared for injured and elderly individuals. Some individuals survived severe injuries that required long-term support. Such care would have been impossible without staying in one place. Shelters created predictable spaces for rest, healing, and safety. Over time, tasks within groups became more specialized. Some individuals focused on hunting, while others gathered plant foods. This division of labor made groups more efficient and resilient. Shared shelters also encouraged food sharing within the group. Large animals provided more food than could be eaten at once. This likely led to early methods of food preservation. Fire played a key role in preserving and protecting food. Shelters also became centers of social interaction. Gestures, sounds, and expressions were used more frequently. Many researchers believe this environment supported early communication. Although not full language, communication became more complex. Firelight extended social time beyond daylight hours. Nighttime gatherings strengthened emotional bonds within groups. Shelters gradually became emotional as well as physical spaces. These changes marked a major step toward human social life. With shelters, Homo erectus was no longer just surviving but living together. Living together changed how Homo erectus interacted with the natural world. They were no longer just avoiding predators. They began competing with them. Fossil evidence shows a major shift in their diet. Homo erectus consumed far more meat than earlier human species. Animal bones found with their tools include large mammals. These animals weighed hundreds or even thousands of pounds. Such prey could not be hunted by individuals acting alone. Successful hunts required coordination, timing, and planning. This marks the rise of cooperative hunting in human evolution. One effective strategy was persistence hunting over long distances. Homo erectus bodies were built for endurance rather than speed. Long legs and efficient cooling allowed hours of sustained movement. Prey animals often overheated and collapsed from exhaustion. Injured animals were easier to track and finish off. Stone tools played a critical role in hunting and butchery. Acheulean hand axes appeared around 1,900,000 years ago. These tools were carefully shaped and reused many times. They were used to cut meat, break bones, and process carcasses. Some sites show cut marks over predator tooth marks. This suggests Homo erectus sometimes dominated kills, not scavenged. In some regions, even dangerous predators became prey. Fossils from East Africa show crocodiles were hunted and butchered. This placed Homo erectus near the top of the food chain. High-calorie diets supported larger bodies and growing brains. As hunters, Homo erectus reshaped ecosystems wherever they lived. As skilled hunters, Homo erectus began expanding beyond their original homeland. They became the first human species to leave Africa permanently. This expansion began around 1,800,000 years ago. Climate shifts created new grasslands stretching into Eurasia. These open corridors allowed humans and animals to move together. Homo erectus followed migrating herds into new territories. One of the earliest destinations was the Caucasus region. Fossils at Dmanisi, Georgia, date to about 1,800,000 years ago. These individuals had smaller bodies, but shared key Homo erectus traits. This shows early migrants did not need advanced technology to spread. From Western Asia, Homo erectus expanded eastward into China and Southeast Asia. Fossils in northern China date back more than 1 million years. In Indonesia, Homo erectus reached the island of Java. These fossils are dated to about 1,600,000 years ago. Reaching Java required crossing open water, not land bridges. This suggests planning, cooperation, and basic seafaring ability. Homo erectus adapted to tropical forests, deserts, and colder regions. In higher latitudes, controlling fire became even more important. Evidence from Europe shows fire use by at least 700,000 years ago. Shelters were adapted to new climates and materials. Clothing made from animal skins likely reduced heat loss. These adaptations allowed Homo erectus to survive Ice Age conditions. No earlier human species had ever occupied such a wide range. Homo erectus became the most geographically widespread human species. This global expansion would shape the future of human evolution. By spreading across continents, Homo erectus gained a powerful advantage: flexibility. Different populations adapted to different environments and challenges. This reduced the risk that one disaster could wipe out the entire species. Homo erectus also showed remarkable biological stability over time. Their basic body plan changed very little for over 1 million years. This design balanced strength, endurance, and efficiency. Unlike later humans, they did not rely on extreme specialization. Their tools remained effective across many environments. Acheulean technology persisted for more than 1 million years. Such longevity suggests the tools met most survival needs. Homo erectus also maintained moderate population sizes. This limited overuse of local resources. Groups could move when environments became less productive. Their mobility prevented long-term ecological collapse. Social cooperation further improved survival chances. Knowledge about tools, fire, and shelters was shared widely. This cultural continuity reduced the need for constant innovation. Instead, Homo erectus relied on proven solutions. This strategy favored long-term survival over rapid change. As a result, Homo erectus survived for nearly 1.9 million years. No other human species has matched this duration. But even this success had limits. Environmental conditions continued to shift unpredictably. Eventually, these changes would test Homo erectus beyond its strengths. The story of their decline begins with the changing world around them. For millions of years, Homo erectus survived change, but the world kept changing. Around 400,000 years ago, climate shifts became more extreme. Ice ages grew colder, longer, and more unpredictable. Many open woodlands preferred by Homo erectus began to disappear. In some regions, dense forests replaced open landscapes. These environments were harder for endurance hunting. At the same time, many large prey species declined or vanished. Fossil records link human presence with megafauna decline in some areas. With less food, Homo erectus faced increasing nutritional stress. Their large bodies and brains required constant high-energy intake. Some populations adapted, but others could not. Regional extinctions began occurring across Eurasia. One of the last strongholds was the island of Java. On Java, Homo erectus survived longer than anywhere else. Fossils show they lived there until about 108,000 years ago. During this time, Java's environment changed rapidly. Open habitats were replaced by dense tropical rainforest. These forests favored smaller, more flexible foragers. Homo erectus struggled to adapt to this new ecological niche. Their long-standing survival strategies began to fail. Meanwhile, other human species were emerging elsewhere. These new humans showed greater behavioral flexibility. Homo erectus did not disappear suddenly, but gradually. Over thousands of years, their numbers dwindled to zero. The longest-lived human species had finally reached its end. Although Homo erectus disappeared, their influence did not. Many traits that define humanity first appeared with them. Upright walking, endurance running, and efficient bodies became standard. Later human species inherited this powerful physical design. The human brain also followed a path they helped establish. Larger brains required cooperation, learning, and social bonds. These foundations were laid long before our species appeared. Homo erectus also passed on a technological legacy. Stone tools became standardized, reliable, and widely shared. This tradition shaped later tool-making cultures. Fire control transformed diet, safety, and social life. Every later human society would depend on fire in some form. Shelters built by Homo erectus changed how humans related to space. The idea of returning to a familiar place became deeply rooted. This concept eventually evolved into villages and cities. Social cooperation, first strengthened around shelters, kept expanding. Caring for the weak became a defining human behavior. Knowledge sharing replaced simple survival instincts. In this way, Homo erectus shaped the direction of human evolution. Homo sapiens did not start from nothing. We inherited a world already transformed by earlier humans. Many of our strengths are echoes of Homo erectus innovations. Their story reminds us that progress is built over deep time. Humanity is a shared project, spanning millions of years. The first home was not built by us, but it made us human. When Homo erectus built shelters, they changed the direction of human history. These structures marked the first step toward permanent human spaces. Over time, shelters evolved into camps, then villages. Villages eventually grew into cities, shaping civilizations. Yet the basic idea remained unchanged: a shared place to return to. Modern homes still serve the same essential purpose. They protect us, bring us together, and shape our daily lives. This continuity links us directly to Homo erectus. Their innovation were not accidents, but responses to survival. Each solution built upon earlier human experience. Human progress has always been cumulative. No single species shaped humanity alone. We are the result of millions of years of shared adaptation. Remembering Homo erectus means understanding ourselves better. Their world was harsh, dangerous, and uncertain. Yet they endured through cooperation and ingenuity. These traits remain central to humanity today. Every home tells a story that began long before us. A story written not in words, but in stone and fire. Homo erectus never knew their legacy would last this long. But their choices shaped the path we still walk today. The modern world stands on foundations laid deep in prehistory. Humanity did not begin with us, and it will not end with us. We are only one chapter in a much longer human story. And it all began when someone, long ago, decided to build a home.